Leah Jordan here. Check out the Pick TV network, now showing on Roku with 60 channels. David Evans is the president and is doing a great job showing quality TV programs to people all over the world. Let's support Pick TV. Go to thepicktv.network.com. That's thepicktv.network.com. Shout out to David Evans doing his thing. I love when people are out there making it really happen and doing beautiful, fantastic work. So shout out to you, and make sure you check him out on Roku with 60 channels. All right, David Evans, congratulations, and keep me abreast of all the hot, products and shows and things you got going on. I'm really interested. All right, best of luck.
Hello, everybody. We're here once again from Washington, D.C. to bring you another segment on Hello America. I'm so happy today that my co-host is with me, Brother O, is here. We have a special guest coming on today with us. Brother O, how you doing today, man?
I'm well, Dr. Evans. How you doing?
Man, great, man. Let's get right into Hello America. You have a special guest. Let's bring her up so she can introduce to the world.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm good. So I want to go ahead and give you a formal introduction. So with that being said, everyone, my name is Orion Meadows. You've all seen me before on the Pick TV network. Normally you'll see me on the Prison Freedom Program, but today I am helping facilitate Hello America with Dr. Evans. So our special guest today is Miss V.L. Harrison, who is an award-winning journalist from Chicago, whose work appears in publications across the city covering and highlighting Black culture and community news. After attaining her BA from Columbia College, she served as a journalism instructor for inner city youth in Chicago, promoting news literacy and Black-owned media. Harrison has spoken to over a dozen audiences across the nation, and she serves as a change agent, setting the stage for new voices in Black media. Press coverage of her work as a media influencer can be found in the Chicago Tribune, WBEZ, WGN, iHeartMedia, and from Lori Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, from whom she received recognition for her work in 2020. Harrison is a mother of 5 who's published her first book, Hood Healing. So without further ado, I give you all Miss V.L. Harrison.
Thank you so much, Brother O. Is that what I'm allowed to call you?
Yeah, you can call me O. You can call me Brother O.
I like that. I'm so grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. My pleasure. So first, let's start off with your upbringing. Where are you from, and what was your childhood like in the environment you were reared in?
Oh, great question. I am from the inner cities of Chicago, specifically the west side of Chicago. Grew up in a town called Austin, which is the city's biggest, blackest, poorest neighborhood in Chicago. I grew up around several things, and I've always been a storyteller, but specifically growing up around characters, I call them, in my family, who really shaped and had a serious impact on my behaviors and how I view and have viewed the world over the last few years.
Okay. The title of your book is Hood Healing. Give the audience a brief description of what the book is about and what was the inspiration for the title.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, O, for bringing this up. Hood Healing is my love and hate letter to Chicago. It is my ode to the city in which I come from, that I love and I so hate sometimes. It talks a lot about the traumatic experiences that inner city Chicagoans, Black Chicagoans specifically, face in their own lives. And as a journalist, I've been doing this for over a decade. I've found that journaling and documenting Black communities in Chicago has been so interesting and detrimental. One common thread that I found in Auburn Gresham, Austin, Inglewood, Back of the Yards, Lincoln Park, is trauma. I found that as Black Chicagoans, we often move very fast. Our inner city lifestyles allow us to do so much with our time. We create our own city culture, but interwoven into our own personal lives are what happens in our homes. And a lot of that is deeply rooted in deep trauma. And I personally believe, after research and covering this city specifically, that a lot of that trauma traces back to our own slavery as Black people and as Africans who were brought to a country that we didn't ask to be part of.
Okay, and I'm glad that you said that because I was going to ask you that, but you already covered that. Like, what did you think was the root of our trauma here in Chicago, but also throughout the United States? So you
Sure.
were already an accomplished journalist. When did you decide that you wanted to embark on this journey to become an author?
You know, I knew my whole life, that I was going to write a book. And I was the student at Key Elementary. That was my school on the west side. I was the student who knew to go the extra mile on my book report. I was the student that always answered or did a little bit of extra when it was time to answer the comprehension questions. I always knew that it was a part of my life and that I would eventually write a book. So I would really honestly say that this is my life's work. However, right around the time that COVID and George Floyd and so many young Black missing girls had become mainstream news, I knew that as a local Black journalist, it was going to be incredibly important that I talked about my own narrative and what it means to the culture and the traumatic things that I experienced. I just did not know that that would be a part of my story as a journalist and I would actually put it in a book. But I thought that I spent so many decades and so many times in my life telling stories of other people that it was time to finally tell my own.
Okay. Speaking of being a journalist, I'm curious about what made you want to go down the path of journalism, and when did you I guess discover your passion for journalism?
Oh, I love that question so much because I love answering it. So when I was young, something that really stuck out when I learned about slavery and Black people and segregation and Jim Crow laws, something that really stuck out is the fact that Black people lost their documentation, or African people and people of our descent, people of the diaspora, were robbed of our documentation, our history, what said what we are and what we were.
Right.
I found that to be incredibly mind blowing because a person that grew up writing and journaling, and my mother would buy me journals every Christmas. She fed into my writing and poured into me. I found documentation, receipts from the grocery store, encyclopedias, birth certificates, finally being the owner of my social security card after moving out of my mama's house. I found documentation to be so vital in life. And to think that an entire culture of people, as powerful as the African culture, to find that that documentation was ripped away, stolen, dismantled, and currently being regurgitated now falsely, really made me think and know that journalism wasn't just about me telling stories. It was about me finding out and sharing facts. That's different than just storytelling. Journalism is special because I always knew that I had a knack for writing and that I was good at it, but I did not know that I had a knack for factual reporting. That takes research, that takes objectivity, that takes a level of empathy. I had no idea. So I was really connected to Black journalism because I grew up watching Black reporters on the news, Art Norman, Darlene Hill. I grew up watching those people. I grew up admiring those people as celebrities. And I knew that they were storytellers, but I knew that they were actually people that were telling facts around the neighborhood. And I just found that to be admirable. So I knew that that's something I wanted to get into.
And I'm glad that you named some of those people that you watched that inspired you, because that was actually going to be my next question.
You see our flow, oh? You see our
Yeah,
flow? And we didn't even plan this.
yeah. You know, honestly, like I think like 2 questions, and I didn't even write them though. I didn't even write that down. But as you were talking, I was thinking like, you know what, I want to ask her, who influenced her, who she watched that made her want to get into journalism. Because I remember like at a young age, I wanted to get involved in journalism. And there were different journalists. Like obviously, like I used to watch sports, ESPN.
Oh, sure.
I used to like the sports broadcasters and so forth. But then as I got a little older, there were journalists that I liked. I liked Larry King, obviously. Okay. Yeah, he was great. And a lot of people not going to like me for saying this, right? But I liked Bill O'Reilly.
Oh yeah, my dad was a Bill O'Reilly fan.
He dominated. I'm not a fan of all his views, right? I don't agree with all his views, but as far as the way that he was a master,
he was a talent.
Yeah, I liked him.
He most definitely was.
Charlie Rose, I liked him. I loved his show.
Now I'm not even a huge sports person, but my brother liked Stacey King. Is it?
Yeah, for the Bulls.
Yeah. Apparently he's a good commentator, and I've listened. So even though I'm not someone who follows the sports and the sports writing, I can tell when someone's just a downright talent. And you're right about O'Reilly. He's just talent.
Yeah,
you can't deny that. Even if you disagree with his views, you can't deny he's talent.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, in the journalism world, those people inspire me. But I mean, there's people that there are energies that I pull from. Excuse my dog. There are energies that I pull from all over, and it's not just in the media. There are energies I pull from the ancestral realm. I like to believe that when I read things about Frederick Douglass and his essays, when I read Marcus Garvey, and when I read Toni Morrison's books and her writings, I would like to think that I pull from those energies too. Mm-hmm. So they're equally as important than the people I see on TV, right? Because I'm pulling from people who did not have or do not have the documentation or the receipts, as we call them, to tell the story. But I still pull from those people because they have definitely storytelling elements that I've learned from.
Oh, by the way, did you know that Angela Davis was here?
Oh no, when on the show?
No, she was up in the Chicago area. So,
excellent.
Saturday we went to Stateville Prison.
Oh, cool.
Because those guys, they had gotten their bachelor's degree, and they had Chance the Rapper. He was performing, but Angela Davis was supposed to come into the prison, but she had COVID, right? She tested positive, so they didn't let her in, but she was able to attend another event right here in the Chicago area. That I saw that with some of the people from Northeastern and stuff like that.
Oh, so it worked out.
Known about that, yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I definitely learned a lot from her, and I followed people like her and revolutionaries, and I didn't always know, obviously, what I know now. And as I studied some of those people as a young girl, I found them to be very intriguing. But it wasn't until maybe in my 30s, currently now, and writing my book and dealing with the murder of my own brother that I really have understood those energies of revolutionaries. So, yeah, I'm inspired by all of those,
Speaking of journalism, and this is another question that just popped up in my mind as we've been talking. So I remember when they were saying that like rap was like the CNN of the hood, right? And it was like journalistic in a sense when people were talking about some of the things that occur in the community. The narratives, because there is storytelling, right? There is storytelling in a lot of the rap music. What do you think about the stories that are being told right now in our community through rap or hip hop, and how are they affecting us, like positively or negatively, in your opinion? From what
Thank you for that question. in Hood Healing, Gerard McClendon, who is a former PBS journalist and Emmy Award-winning journalist, and my mentor, he's at Chicago State University. Gerard talked about music and rap and current hip-hop and cultural trends that have an impact on us. And our young people, I believe, are so traumatized and numb to the idea of murder and homicide. It's just this euphoric idea that these things are acceptable. It's bleeding, literally and figuratively, in our music and in our culture, and the way that our young men dress and what they represent and what our young women say and the order of our families. All of these things go in line together. You literally have artists like Cardi B who have in her rap lyrics what a woman should do to please a man and what makes a wife versus what doesn't. And you have very impressionable teenage women, young women who are listening to these things and modeling after these things. And you cannot tell me that they don't have an impact on our culture. They absolutely do. So I think what tends to happen is the blind leading the blind, right? And this misunderstanding of womanhood and manhood and the hood, literally, and what this all means and what it means to the culture and for us. And we've just all lost our place, right? And that's very clear in the music when we are very zoned in on the sexualization of women and men and young bodies and black bodies and Hispanic bodies and white bodies. And when this becomes normalcy around abusing and degrading one another, it tells you that the impact has been and continues to be detrimental. It is the source of a lot of our trauma, and we are just numb to it. We are just numb to a naked woman being displayed as if she has no respect for herself or others. We are numb to talking about murder and talking about people dying, and it has become a normal part of our culture. And so it absolutely has a very disturbing impact on our young people, on our art forms, and who we are as people.
Thank you for that, and I agree. And so I was at Northeastern Illinois University. I can't remember what day because it seems like the day is just going by so quickly, and I'm doing so much. But I participated in a somatic reading healing circle.
Yeah.
And the book was my grandma's hands that we were reading from. I don't know whether you've heard of that book.
I know Grandma's Hands. It's a song and it's a book.
Right. And so if we can believe that one can be healed through writing, then definitely the opposite could take place. You know, you can if you can be healed through writing and reading, then you can also be traumatized
or wrongly impacted. And it was my nephew that I started to really study what he was listening to and his behaviors. My sons are still Will on the Bus age and, corny music. But being a 20-some-odd-year-old young man, just lost his dad, my only brother, and listening to what he listens to as far as music goes, and I don't even need to name the artist, but just talking about shooting someone, making their mother sad, going to the hospital and making sure that they're dead. Lyrics that talk about even though we killed them, we send their moms teddy bears. This culture of killing one another and damn near bragging about it. Not like killing one another and being saddened about it or regretful or remorseful about it, but killing one another and being braggadocious about it and creating this normalcy and this street code that hurting one another is okay. And that creating a legacy for my children that killing somebody is just as synonymous as getting a job. Because this makes me a man, or this makes me street credible.
Right.
It has an impact. And then you have artists who say, well, it's not my responsibility to raise your child. it's not my responsibility to, and you know, I've seen quotes where artists have said, it isn't my responsibility to rap for your child, or it isn't my responsibility to raise your child. Well, when you are on a platform, regardless of the medium, you are responsible. And while I realize parents should and must play an instrumental role in what their children listen to and what they're being fed by the media, artists have a responsibility as well. And so you're absolutely right. The music has and will continue to be a very symbolic way of why we are how we are. It says a lot. It says a lot.
Definitely. And we can continue on this subject because we have to go to a commercial break. But before we go, I'm Orion Meadows. My guest today is the wonderful V.L. Harrison. She's talking about her publication, Hood Healing. This is Hello America, live from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, where we are, and we will be right back after our commercial break.
What is this? It's kind of late. Oh, my body starts to shiver. Worries will, I'm on a high. Oh, I've never felt like this before. Got to let it go.
When you move abroad, there are some things you can't take with you. But there are some things you just can't leave behind. For international health insurance, choose Allianz Worldwide Care.
People want Grace Davis, and that's what we gonna give them.
This is The Hideout.
Chicago! Where are we? Detroit. I can't hear you, Maggie. Detroit. I can't hear you, Detroit!
I grew up around music. It's my whole world. If you told 12-year-old me that one day I'd be working for Grace Davis, she's an icon.
This woman doesn't even know your last name.
She does, sometimes.
Stop. I'm not going to tell you guys you're great if you're not great. Do it again.
Damn, the girl still give me goosebumps.
Well, Grace, have you thought any more about the Vegas residency?
Actually, I think it's time I record a new album.
I mean, that's one plan.
What am I supposed to say to her? I'm just a personal assistant, but I'd love to produce your music.
Let me do my job, and you do yours, which is get her coffee, Kleenex, Kotex, and whatever else the hell we've been paying you to do for the last 6 months.
I've been here for 3 years.
You get paid? I thought you were an intern.
My life is a joke! Ugh!
It's really bleak out there for middle-aged singers. In the history of music, only 5 women over 40 have ever had a #1 hit, and only one of them was black.
I've been feeling.
I know everyone is happy with me doing the same show every night. What if there's something more?
Grace, I didn't want to tell you or Jack, but I did a cut of your song.
Hey, I can hear y'all. Y'all know it's a damn microphone in there, right? All we got to do is play it safe and stack some money.
I will decide what I do next.
They don't love you like I do.
Is the food coming, sir?
We've been over this. We are not a drive-through.
Well, it should be. It could be.
Oh my God, is that Grace Davis?
No.
The world premiere is in your home on demand May 29th.
Hello, everybody. Watching a special presentation today. Hello, America, with Brother O, all the way from Chicago. This is a live presentation you're watching today. Those who are watching, I want to say thank you for all of the people chatting in. We see you coming in today. It's amazing. Brother O, man, this queen is hot, man. She is super great, man. She is on the ball. So let's continue to have this interview with her.
Definitely, Dr. Evans. You all right? You good?
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there's a little static in the back. I don't know what that is.
Hello.
Let's see. All right, so we'll wait and
yeah, she'll be back in a second.
Yeah, she'll be back. So
this is an amazing interview we're having, man. I mean, she's on the ball, man. I mean, you had a lot of good people come on, and man, she's holding it down. You know, yeah, Chicago. You got some best. You got more than pizza up there, man. You got more than pizza in Chicago.
I mean, as far as the art, you know, the art world is burgeoning right here in Chicago. You know, there are a lot of wonderful writers, artists, and you know, I'm always out there trying to, you know, obviously. Market myself because I'm a writer,
right?
But also network and meet new people, because that's how when you meet new people, then you're able to exchange ideas and you're able to feed off one another. And so I've had the wonderful pleasure of meeting all these people by networking, and actually the work that I do allows me to be able to do that. To network and meet new people that have all these wonderful ideas and that are so talented. And that's actually how I was able to meet Miss Harrison, was through people that were through the art community, the poetry community.
Yeah.
And then shortly after I met her, we ended up at a literary fest. And then we began to talk, and I was telling her about this platform, and we decided that it would be good for her to come on here. So hopefully she's able to get everything situated so that we can get her back on here.
Yeah. I'm just excited, man, because every time you have people on, and we have another show after this, so everybody don't go nowhere. He has another hot person coming on. But just give him a sneak preview of who's coming on next.
Yes. So it's a brother named Naji Islam. He'll be on our prison freedom program. And I actually have had the opportunity to work with him. I don't want to get too much away right now, but he's also part of one of the organizations that I am a member of. And there's some information that he would like to divulge to the public. So he told me that he had some important information that he felt like people should be educated on. So I told him, like, hey, you know, you got the floor. I'll provide a platform for you, because I know that he's very sincere in the work that he does.
Yeah, so we got the queen back for the last 10 minutes of the show, man. So she's back ready to go.
Hey
All
there.
right.
Sorry about that. Thanks.
No, you know, hey, things happen, technical difficulties. And so where were we? I know we were talking about like accountability.
Yeah.
So this is just how I feel. And when they say things like that they're not accountable for our children, but then you are able to profit from our children.
That's right.
And the parents also that spend their money, then that help them consume or are consumers
Yeah.
of the product that you're putting out there. I feel like, and I've always said this:
Yeah.
if there is a demand for something, then it will always be produced. But what if we stopped consuming?
But what if we stop?
And so that's why when we talk about hood healing, right? This is something that I throw out there all the time. There must be something wrong with us if we keep consuming.
That's right. It is. It's absolutely something wrong with us. It's a lack of understanding of why we're consuming, what it's like to be owners, owning land, owning our food choices, owning the communities in which we live in. Those types of things we don't usually choose freely. And because we are the descendants of slaves, we are literally in positions in most cases where some of us don't see that generational trauma go anywhere.
Right.
It just continues to pass itself on. So it takes this one very special person in the family, or someone who has an understanding of mental illness, or someone who wants to heal themselves, to say, you know what, this got to stop somewhere, because it will continue.
Right.
And the reason that our young people are so turned on by rappers and athletes is because there is very little responsible role models in our hood.
Right.
Let's be honest. Some of us don't have that in our families. Some young people don't have a mother and father. They're raised by grandparents. Some young people are very independent very early on, and they are forced out of their home, and they don't have many role models in their communities. So we have to be empathetic to why things are happening in that way, period. But absolutely, the music plays a part. And I have never been one of those types of people who get offended by that. I listen to rap. I love hip hop. I love R&B. All of it. It's cultural staples, right? But I do completely understand that there are young minds out here, even R&B being highly sexual nowadays. And always, there are young people who cannot understand and filter these messages. They just can't.
Right.
So that makes it dangerously impactful for their lives.
No, I definitely agree, because I know the difference in myself, right?
Right.
Today than when I was young listening to that type of music.
Right.
You know, I know the difference, the way that I received it, the way that it affected me. And I'm just going to be honest with you, like, because I'll listen to a drill song.
Sure.
I'm older, I could process it, but I will tell you this. Sometimes when I hear that, I get a certain type of feeling that I used to have.
Aggression.
It takes me back to
it triggers you. Possibly.
Yeah, it does. I'm just going to be honest with you. It does.
I say all the time, and not even trying to be funny, when I put my radio on and certain songs come on, I'm driving faster. I'm feeling myself. I'm going down Chicago Avenue. I'm like, well, Veronica, you tripping. It's not the 290.
Right.
And what we have to admit is that art evokes feelings. That's a natural fact. Music, dance forms, writing, it evokes feelings. That is why we're attracted to it. And that is why art forms are so powerful. They make us feel. We might not love it, like it, hate it. It's what it is. So absolutely, when we listen to music, when we read things, when we watch things on TV, our culture makes us feel about ourselves, about what we're into. We have young ladies that think Beyonce and Jay-Z are goals, and that's the only goals that they've ever had in their mind when it comes to husband and wife. Just an example, not picking on those two. I am a fan. But we have examples like that are supreme. They're supreme in our culture, because that's all a lot of young Black people know. When you don't have the ability to go outside of your neighborhood, when you don't have the resources to go to museums, when you don't have the proper education in your neighborhoods, when you aren't literally fed good food because there aren't good grocery stores in your neighborhood, when your schools close down because your local government can't seem to keep them open. These are all things that feed us into our insecurities and traumatize us as if we're not good enough. That's what it makes us believe. And so a music artist who's coming and saying, I'm going to shoot you in the head and kill your mama, that's appealing to us.
Right.
We don't know any better. And that's what happens to our young people.
And so, as you already know, I work for the Institute for Nonviolence Chicago.
I got something for you, O. I'm a fan.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay. Who you get that from?
And I got me a t-shirt. I did a book talk, and I was trying to catch up with you when we first got acquainted and we first met to tell you this. I did a book talk for them. Tenny. And I met with, I believe, there's a new young lady who's doing race and equity or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great time. So I did a book
Okay,
talk.
that's where they knew you from, because they had the. So anyway, for the audience, we haven't had a chance to really talk about it, but we were both at the West Side Literary Fest,
right?
And so they actually saw one of the flyers, and you were on the flyer. They ain't had me on the flyer because I'm not popular like you.
You funny, oh, you know what?
And they were like, they got all excited. I was like, oh, you guys know who she is now. I understand why they were excited, man. Yeah, when they saw you. But with the Institute, we believe in attacking forces of evil and not people. Yeah. And I'm bringing that up for a reason, because we're talking about media, right? And we're journalists. The music that is put out there, because there were certain things you could not put on television, and you definitely would not hear on the radio.
That's right.
Right now, right?
That's right.
And most of it is directed towards our people.
That's right.
Certain words that are used and expressed and so forth, right? So what needs to be done, because there are certain things, and we're not going to go too deep into what's going on currently about what certain artists are saying that are getting them in trouble, that certain people don't approve of. So why isn't it unacceptable to say certain things that are derogatory or offensive toward our people, and are allowed to be played on the radio, in the music videos, on Instagram, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Something is
narrative.
Right, exactly.
Narrative.
Now, but people are controlling this.
Yeah.
And so why can't we as a people go after the people who are allowing this to be produced and presented before the public, when it is something that is detrimental to us and derogatory?
The majority of us are disorganized, though. The majority of us, as much as we hate to admit it, our culture, and I'm not just talking Chicago, I'm talking Black people from all over, are not organized enough to do what you just said, to go after the producers and the media that allows the derogatory language and the narrative to be spent on us. But the moment that it offends another culture, it's a huge problem. We're not organized enough. And I can simply tell you, without even using this person's name, we're not organized enough because we can't even agree on somebody that we don't even all know. He's an abstract in our imagination. And all I've been seeing on social media all day long is bittering against him or for him. We're not organized enough. And we're not organized enough. It's not our own fault. But when you take a people's documentation from them, it is hard for them to know where they're going in anything. So we about your religion. We about your education. We about your land. We say whatever you say, because what do we know? And so here we are, to answer your question, not being able to move forward and revolutionize because we aren't organized or educated or strong enough. It's just the facts. Whether we like it or not, those are the facts. That is why anybody can win against the Black culture. That is why the Black culture is continuing to die. That is why our people are uneducated. And that is why most of our legacies are halted. at greatness. And we can't even imagine excellence because we literally can't even be organized on Facebook. We can't even be collective on social media, let alone in real life. How do we fight against anybody saying anything against our people? Our homes are not organized. Our neighborhoods are not organized.
And you know, once I got out of prison, one of the things that I wanted to do was definitely get involved in journalism and social media, because for the group that the formerly incarcerated, there's a certain narrative and a stigma that comes with that people have shaped. Like when I see stuff on television, there are certain things about life in there that are greatly exaggerated, right?
I'm sure.
And a lot of it is done in a way so that people would, that they would shun or abhor people that have had that experience, and that, and we know that a great percentage of that, and when I mean that, meaning formerly incarcerated population or incarcerated and formerly incarcerated population, that it comes from our community, right? And so I wanted to be able to kind of like reshape that narrative.
That's right. That's right.
It's very important.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Oh, I mean, it is very important that as Black people, we leave behind a narrative that we own. Because currently, even raising my own children, I can tell them the truth about what happened when Christopher Columbus came to this land, but they're going to go right to school and learn about that damn Mayflower. And they're going to be taught that Christopher Columbus was so nice when he came over here to the Indians, and they just all broke bread and had great corn and had a nice discussion. And so see what we're up against here? And as a culture, as a country, even when you want to represent the honesty, they call you crazy, radical, insane. It is beyond people to think outside of the box when they have been traumatized for so long. The trauma don't even feel trauma. I said in my book, Black People in Chicago are so traumatized that we are literally out here calling it, living our best lives.
Okay, so what we will do is we're going to go to one more break. But before we go to the break, I'd like everyone to know I'm Orion Meadows. This is Hello America. We're on the PIC TV network. My special guest is Ms. V.L. Harrison, and she has a book entitled Hood Healing. Show everybody your book.
Available on Amazon, Hood Healing 4, written by MTV's correspondent Donald T. Pungo. Good stuff. Available on Amazon.
Check it out. Check it out. So we'll be right back after we take this break, everyone.
And I dreamed of you every
Well, folks, we're excited again for this special presentation, Brother O. Man, Brother O, you get so good, man. I'm just like, you're gonna take my job. You're gonna take the president's job, man. You hosting shows. You got a big award coming up on Black Friday, man, for the newest show on Pick TV Network, man. And we're just happy for you, man. You had the big star come on today. You got another show coming on after that. I know we got to close out this show because we got another show coming on after this. But this star, she has to come back. Queen, you were so good.
Oh, thank you so much.
When you come to DC, we gotta treat you to some steak, and at the White House Capitol, whatever we gotta do.
I would love that. Thank you.
Brother O, man, you did it again, man. I just don't know, man. 5 stars, man.
Oh, he is brilliant.
Brother is the bomb. He's a gift to our network. I love you, brother. You can bring your guests up for the closing words, bro.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Evans. I appreciate everything. So yes, I would like to know any upcoming projects that you have.
Hold on, let me hush it off. Absolutely. There's always something.
My cat out.
There's always something with me. Several upcoming projects. In addition to being a journalist, I'm also a publicist. So I just began to represent some very exciting people. Author Payman Rami, who is the first international film producer from Chicago, is now my client. In addition to Hollywood actor Isaiah Washington, who's very known for his roles in Grey's Anatomy, Crooklyn, Get on the Bus, Love Jones, you name it. So life is really picking up, and I'm really grateful because my journalism career and my career as an author has really expanded my career as a communications person. So lots of exciting things on the horizon. I'm always blessed about that.
Okay. All right. That's good, man. You're doing a lot of wonderful stuff.
Yes, thank you.
Very important. Like I said, they were all excited. I was like, y'all know her? Like, oh, yeah.
The dog excited, the kids excited. It's also right that very sweet time, where I'm between, work and mom time. So you're gonna hear a lot of that.
It's you did good. People love the dogs. We have a dog show coming up. So and the kids, I love the sound of the kids and life. It's beautiful. We're excited, brother. Oh, I just want to say, man, what you've done for our network, man. You just 5 stars, man. The guests that you have on are magnificent. Like this queen, we have to bring her back on to do another segment, man. I'm just happy, we get ready for our anniversary on Black Friday. Again, you got 3 awards, man. You got 3 nominees. This is amazing, man. 3, I mean, the Community Heroes Award, you got that one. Then you got the award for the Mega Award, meeting this golden assignment with these shows. You got the Pick TV Network Managers Award, man. You're gonna be walking around.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I mean, it's nothing like being celebrated by your own, and that was that we're all journalists, obviously, and we all deal with the media, and so by this being Black owned,
yeah.
That's something that makes it special for us to be able to have a platform somewhere that celebrates our people and a lot. And what we were talking about, being able to control and shape the narrative instead of allowing other people to tell our story.
That's very important, and I want Queen to know we appreciate her so much coming on the set today. And those who are watching, brother, right beside you, man, there's a QR code, man. You got to put that QR code.
Where it's at? I can't get to it. But yeah, it's right by me. But anyway, everybody, if you can, donate. Nothing is free, but information is powerful. And knowledge is wealth in itself. And that's what we try to provide right here at the Pick TV Network. So, give as your heart, touches you, or, and because we definitely need it. We want to continue to be able to have this platform and be able to have more wonderful guests. And, my thing is, for me, I like to find people that have something to say that that have some value, but always out there, being put out there every day amongst the masses. So I try to find those hidden jewels, but people who are very important, and she's a very important person in her community.
Thank you so much, O. I really appreciate that. As well you, brother. As well you.
Thank you. So with that being said, Dr. Evans, get us up out of here.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching this special presentation today. We had a beautiful time, folks. Don't forget to scan that QR code to help support our programs. You know what we're trying to do for the holidays. We're adopting a family that we're giving a gift card to, we're giving some toys to, and we also giving a little cash app to help some families in time of need. This queen was great, folks. Watch this program again on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and get this book. Matter of fact,
this book available.
We need to do on our book fair. We need to bring you on our book fair. So we have a book fair once a month, Queen.
I would love it. Bring me on.
Yeah, we'll bring you on. And some of those special guests you just named, we like to get them to come on the spotlight too. You said some big names on the movie screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to, integrate what I'm doing with what you're doing. That's how we work. So you tell me, let's make it happen.
We got the Chicago DC connection, y'all. So we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on the PIC TV network. Don't forget, we got another show coming right after this, the Prison Freedom Show. Brother O got a live show. Don't go nowhere.
It's a beautiful fall evening. The sun is setting. The dog finally stopped barking. Life is good. But inside, there's trouble brewing, and Emma has no idea. Although she feels fine, like her father, Emma is one of the 67 million adults in the U.S. with high blood pressure or hypertension. Just like her radiator that's on the fritz, Emma's heart is working overtime to get the job done. Let's have a look. The heart is the pump in our bodies, delivering blood to the entire system through a set of pipes, or blood vessels of all sizes. Smoking, high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, physical inactivity, family history, and increased age all contribute to these blood vessels, or our pipes, becoming less elastic. The more blood our heart has to pump through stiff, narrowing arteries, the higher our blood pressure. When the force of the blood against our artery walls is too high, life-threatening health problems can result. Problems like kidney disease, heart disease, stroke, even heart attack. Can Emma get her pressure down before it's too late?